Okay, we'll get started. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to in-service training. For those who may be new, I'm LaCee Jimenez. I'm up in the state office, and one of my responsibilities is helping with social marketing. Social marketing, the CDC describes it. Let me whip out.
LaCee, we record it. LaCee,
it is a tool for promoting public health activities, and it may be used to promote healthy practices in the community, hospital, and workplace settings. It can help educate policymakers on issues related, in our case, to physical activity, nutrition, and help them see the need for things like safe walking paths and green spaces. Also, it can educate the public on how to adopt healthy lifestyle habits.
LaCee,
Social marketing is a systematic and strategic process. And so more or less what social marketing is just using the sort of tools and techniques that marketers use
there you go.
to help us buy products or support a company. But it's used specifically
way back on
for
21
people to either adopt healthy practices or something that's good for society in general. The CDC describes that most programs will have at least some of the following components. There will be an adoption of strategies used by commercial marketers, whether that is using mass media to promote something or at the point of purchase, little pushes at the point of purchase.
LaCee, can you hear me?
A goal for promoting voluntary behavior change. So we're not coercing anyone and forcing them to go to our classes or otherwise. We're just using techniques to help encourage and help them want to on their own. Also, the end goal is improving personal or societal welfare. And usually, in our case, we'll be doing pro-health messages. And so, as part of that, here at the state office, we worked with marketing, and we have created a new tagline for this campaign, and also it can be used for food sense in general, and it's Create Better Health. We felt that really kind of embodies what our whole goal is in food sense, SNAP Ed. And accompanying that, we've also created a new URL that will direct people to our public website. So it's not a new website, but we thought this might help them remember it more easily instead of, extension.usu.edu food sense. createbetterhealth.usu.edu. And so they know we are working with the university, and it's something I hope would be easier for them to remember when they see a bus pass by compared to our old one. Let's see. So I thought it'd be fun, since I was in the marketing spirit, to make this. So we're going to create, by creating, reaching, educating, encouraging action. We'll have our plan, the plan, and we'll talk about kind of what effect we're hoping for. So Create, I really wanted to just kind of discuss what our whole goal is. And so I use this from the focus of food sense that we include in our plan that we submit to the Department of Workforce Services. And I hope this is something that we can kind of keep in mind as we're planning activities and teaching classes, because social marketing really is meant to be a support to the work that you are doing in PSE as well as the classes you're teaching. It's something to just reinforce those messages that you are already sharing with our participants. And all of it is to help our SNAP Ed target audience create healthy eating habits and a physically active lifestyle in order to prevent nutrition-related chronic diseases. Because unfortunately, a lot of times the low-income population suffers they have a higher likelihood of suffering from these sort of chronic diseases, and we want to kind of help even the playing field a little bit by giving them tools that they can use with their limited resources to be as healthy as possible. So the reach, this is kind of sharing some of the things that we'll have happening during July. We're going to push out this sort of marketing message of Create Better Health with Food Sense SNAP Ed. Some of the things that will be happening this month is we will have a little segment on The Place, on Fox 13's The Place. You'll be receiving in the mail, most of you will receive in the mail a retractable banner, and this is what it looks like, Create Better Health, that you can use at booths. And that's actually part of what I'm hoping you'll be able to do as you promote just food sense and the things you already have planned to do this month. I just want to give you more tools to help attract new participants and even also impress stakeholders who may want to help us or be partners with us as we work on helping people create healthy habits. And so only some of the northern region, you'll receive ours personal delivery opposed to mail, but those should be coming within the next week. Also, with the retractable banners, we did get them with insurance, so if the metal parts break, please let us know because we can send them back and have them fixed. So I think in the past we've had issues with them breaking. Another area that we'll just promote the idea of creating better health with what we're doing, because we create better health with all that we do anyway, is online. Marketing has created some little profile pic photos that can be used on your Facebook pages, as well as banner photo and some other images that can be used as you are promoting your classes or using your Facebook or Twitter or other resources. And I do ask, in addition to using SnapEdWorks, that we can include also our hashtag Create Better Health, so we can kind of have a way to measure some of the impact that we're having with this new tagline. Also, we're going to have a couple buses. I'm really excited to be able to see them, and I'm sorry that this will only be in a couple counties, and hopefully with funding we can expand it to those other areas that have public transportation. But we're hoping to draw in people that maybe we would have missed otherwise. And in planning this, we've actually been able to work with the company that does marketing with UTA as well as the Cache Valley Transit System to have it go through areas that are lower income. So we'll be able to help reach that target audience. So for my E for Educate, what is our message that we're sharing? Promoting health. This first initial push for Create Better Health, we're really just promoting our classes and the program, helping people know that we're here, that we help create better health, and how to access the resources that we already offer. In the future, or in even past social marketing campaigns, we've promoted messages such as Family Mealtime, and we'll be doing that again in September. And then also we're going to use Create Better Health to adopt some social marketing campaigns that are done in other states. We haven't decided for sure which ones we'll be using, but most likely we'll use something about being active and hopefully how to be active in the winter. That was a concern when we had a needs assessment of how to stay active in the wintertime when there's a lot of snow or really cold weather or it gets dark really early were some of the challenges. And also healthy eating, one possible campaign is called Pick a Better Snack. We may use that and be able to share the message of pick a better snack and create better health with Food Sense, SnapEd. And we'll be able to develop partnerships, possibly with the health department or even locally, to help promote these messages.
LaCee.
All right, so the whole key with the marketing is to hope that some sort of action happens. What will people do because they're seeing these messages? And we're hoping for more participation and recruitment for your classes. Also that they start applying some of the messages that we're sharing in those classes as well as in other social marketing campaigns, what the message is, whether it's take more time for family mealtime. Also, hopefully we'll get more support from partnerships as we become more visible and memorable in the public. We'll be able to develop maybe partnerships with other local organizations who will want to help with classes or help provide resources or maybe invite you to teach at their facilities. and also support from taxpayers as well as decision makers, policymakers that can help show that we are making a good use of the money that is allotted to us from the federal government through the state. And so this can help with that, is when we go visit our legislators and they can recognize our message of like, oh yeah, I see you all over. You guys are a great program. That's what we're hoping can come out of this as well. And then, like I mentioned, hopefully, Create Better Health will help us establish a sort of vehicle for other social marketing campaigns so we can still have our food sense kind of branding with campaigns that we may adopt from other states that are research-based. So our plan for July, and I hope no one's feeling stressed out, like we're going to have you all do a lot of extra things that you weren't planning on, because that will not be the case. A lot of things have already been done through the state office. The bus ads, we've taken care of that. With social marketing, we will be sending out some tools that you can use with what you're already writing, because realistically, everything you're already writing is helping people know how to create better health. And so it's really just more giving more tools to help you as you do your recruitment and promoting the program. One thing I'll send out to supervisors is maybe like a press release that you can submit to local newspapers. And also, if you already do regular articles in the paper or have a local radio program, I would invite you to consider sharing information about SNAP-Ed and Create Better Health this upcoming month. And then we will have Create Family Mealtime coming up, and I'll share at the end of this presentation just a few changes from last year. And it'll be pretty minimal because, y'all did such a great job last time. And a lot of the materials with Create Better Health can be used all year. It's not limited to just the month of July. So don't feel like you can't use your retractable banner after July's over. You can definitely use that all year long. So here's a little kind of breakdown of the county's role this upcoming month. I just encourage you to use the campaign tagline as you're teaching classes. It's like, oh, we're Food Sense, or welcome to Food Sense, SNAP-Ed. Our goal is to help you create better health, just so they can really hear that, see it, and it becomes more and more visible. There'll be new flyers and banners. Marketing's still working on the flyers, but they'll be similar to the ones that are already on our website, just with a little different look, and including the tagline. You'll be able to add dates for classes, or you can also add just your local contact information to help with marketing to people in your general area. Please promote Food Sense SNAP-Ed like you already do, but this can be kind of a recruitment month as you get ready for the fall season and the upcoming fiscal year of Food Sense. So we'll have radio, local newspaper, LICs. Those who serve on LICs, this is something you can share with them. When you're on social media, please use the hashtag Create Better Health and some of the marketing images. And one of them actually is an updated logo with the SNAP-Ed included with the Food Sense and USU extension. So that's part of the package that will be available. And when appropriate, I know it's not always appropriate, especially if it's a class that's with a group that's maybe required to be there otherwise, but I would like to see if people are seeing these messages. And so when you start a class, you can just ask, like, hey, how'd you all find out about our class? And just take note of some of those ways that people share. And just share with me what you're finding, if this is actually being beneficial or if we need to try a new method in the future. For our social media team, it's just the same thing of Create Better Health. I'm using that hashtag as well as applying some of the social marketing images that has been created for the marketing team. And please continue to use SNAP-Ed Works. We want that to keep going. And let's try to engage readers and maybe invite them to share how they create better health, or how, if you do have followers who already participate in Food Sense, maybe they'd like to share how Food Sense is helping them create better health. Maybe get a little more or just some engagement with that. So our effect. What we're hoping to find from this, what we'll be reporting is just the number of indirect contacts. If you have a booth at the county fair, that you're sharing what Food Sense is, how it creates better health. We'll be recording those numbers. The traffic on your social media, flyers that you're distributing, as well as estimated views for the mass media, from the television segment, as well as the bus ads. How'd you learn about the class responses? And I do plan to work with Kim to develop some sort of recall recognition survey after the campaigns. That hasn't been developed yet, and so we'll let you know what help we may need in distributing that in certain counties. And yeah, the findings will just help us shape how we do future campaigns, because we're still a little new at this. We did Family Mealtime last year, and we're hoping that we can develop a really strong program where we'll be easily recognized in the community. And the main effect we really want is that more SNAP-Ed participants have tools to create better health. Anyone have questions about the Create Better Health campaign before I share a little bit of the Family Mealtime?
Just a really quick reminder. Please mute your. Yeah.
Looks like it's really clear to everyone. That's very good. It's really not too much out of what you're normally doing to promote the program and recruit. It's just giving you a tagline and some new marketing materials. So in September, we will be repeating the Create Family Mealtime. It'll be similar. We will be sending out cards, pledge cards to the counties. For those who weren't here last year, we had pledge cards that families were able to sign and pledge to increase the times that they have Family Mealtime during that month. We will increase that. We will have another sort of calendar kit that we'll have interns at the state office working on. So it'll be kind of packaged for you, things that you can share during that month. One addition that we'd like to do, and that's part of why we're sharing it now in June, those of you who work in schools and have good relationships with schools, if you would maybe look to see if you could have a booth at back to school night to promote Family Mealtime, and also we'll couple that with promoting UBET, the Utah Breakfast Expansion Team. And I think if Casey's on, she can share a little bit more about the UBET piece. Hold on, let's see. I stepped away. You've probably heard this before. Oh, it's not working. Oh, sorry. I just said that. So I don't even know if that's going to be a Casey, so what on the back to school night booths, the part for UBET, we'll be sharing the report. I wasn't quite sure what would be included.
I think the other day we mixed up our speakers because mine had to and mine wasn't working. So let me leave and see if she can be heard again.
Okay, thank you.
LaCee, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, nothing with UBET has been formalized in any sense, so
okay,
it's still very much up in the air.
Okay.
Okay, thanks though.
Oh, no problem. So we may talk about encouraging the breakfast program at the schools. I know Utah has the least participation, but not necessarily, that isn't necessarily because all of the kids are having breakfast. And so just helping to educate how that program can benefit those children who don't have access to breakfast in the morning, and the importance of having breakfast every morning. All right. So, are there any other questions concerning the social marketing piece? Looking, must have been very clear to everyone, which is great. Before I'd end this training, I also was curious to see if there are any amongst you who would like kind of a step through of using the Google Calendar as well, since we have you all on.
Yes, I would. Galen.
Okay.
Hi, LaCee.
Hello. Okay.
But just hang on one second. Hold on. Okay. Yeah.
Right. I will share the appropriate screen and we'll walk through that. It'll take me a second to. Oh no. Okay. So look at this awesome week. You all are very busy. Okay, so a couple of tips. When you go to calendar.google.com.
Okay, wait. Calendar.google.com.
Yes. You want to make sure you are signed in with your university email, which you would just use the same as you would sign in to your email address. Because once you type in your USU email, it will send you to the sign-in credential page that USU uses all the time. So have your cell phone handy as well, or your fob, because you'll have to use Duo.
Okay, thank you.
And you can tell on the right to see which account you're signed in. As you can see, I've changed my account, so my default is my work one, but previously my personal would come up. So just watch for that, because you may be adding things to your personal calendar that we won't be able to see. Another thing is when you're adding events, so we'll say we're going to create.
So you hit create if you're adding an event.
Yep, you create an event. And something that we're just sending out, so this will be new to a few of you who have not seen the email yet or hasn't been passed on. For the purpose of promoting your classes, we would like that you start your event title with whether or not you have an open class or a closed class. That way, Candy will be able to easily identify those classes that she will need to include in the Eat Well Utah letter. Another, and I guess another potential use you can have is also if something, I guess, never mind. We'll just open or closed. We'll keep it simple. And then you can include kind of the location. So my example, I've been using Grand County. So we'll say the Moab Library class. Maybe you have a Moab Library class all the time. And some counties, whatever's useful to you, you can kind of put at the end of this title. They include who's teaching the class, but that's really just what works best for your county. Below you have the date and the start and end time.
But then on that closed Moab Library, then you'll put the name of your event.
Yeah, so it can
like
be
a cooking class or a.
Yeah, cooking class or after school.
Okay.
And one of the requirements from the ME is it needs to reflect that it is our curriculum. So create cooking class.
Okay.
Not just a cooking class, but create a skillet or create whatever it is, but it needs to reflect
salad to create.
it's been approved.
Heidi, would you like that up in the title or could it be in the description? Just.
I think it should probably be in the title.
Okay. All right. So everyone, please put create even, it may be in a series, so just put create series.
Or what if it's the youth curriculum or something like that?
You could do the create
My plate.
Create my plate youth curriculum.
Well, it would be whatever that lesson would be. So,
Oh, okay.
Or I guess if it's a series, then you could call it the Create My Plate, whatever you want to name the series.
Yeah.
Right. That's one thing we want to, a lot of counties have recurring classes that are like every Tuesday at a certain place or every fourth Monday at a certain place. So if you'll even just put creates or something, then because if you're planning out 3 months, you may not know which create lesson you're providing, and that's okay. We just want to know where you'll be and when in case we need to report that or the DWS needs to know or something. So even if you just put closed Moab Library, create my plate or create my plate series or something. If you don't know which class you're going to be teaching because it's 3 months away, that's fine.
Okay, and what if it's in the school? So you put middle, Wayne Middle School creates youth curriculum series.
Yes.
What grade are you doing too?
Okay, and then you want the grade as well.
Yep, we need as much detail as you can do. And this will just make it easier for all of us.
But Heidi, we're also letting them put all the details in the description.
Yes, I'm fine with that.
Okay, so it's available to us. If they want to use the event creation title to be a little bit more succinct, that's okay. As long as the details are in the description, then we should be okay.
And if you do have a series, there is an option for repeating. You're like, oh, every Wednesday we always have this class, and you can have it for however many occurrences that you want to do. The one thing with that though is that all of them will have the same details. The downside of doing that, you can't, at least unless someone else already knows how to. I haven't found the way, if there is, to have different details or descriptions if you do a series for each part of that series for repeated classes.
So, LaCee,
yes.
you can edit each one. So you can say, like, instead of applying to all series, you can say apply to one, or, for the description part.
Perfect. So that's.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is Melanie. You can usually, I'll create the series and then I'll go into one of them and put in who's teaching or whatever, and then save for only that instance. And then it will just save it for that specific day.
I should have tinkered with it longer. Thank you. Oh, perfect. So yes, you can set up your series, then as you're planning and decide what you're teaching, you can go in and edit.
So did you say you wanted who's teaching the class in the top part or in the description?
Whatever, I think for that, whatever works best for your county.
Okay.
It could be up there, but then it might become a really long title.
Yeah, really.
Put it down in the description. Though some counties, I think they do initials up on top so they can see it quickly. But in Wayne County, if you
it's just one
person teaching all the time,
this is one person.
A concern.
Okay.
Another important part is putting where, and not just Moab Library, but the actual address. And the nice thing is Google Maps kind of helps you with that. When you, like, I just found the Grand County Library, came up on its own. But we need the actual address, and the only exception for this would be confidential sites, maybe a women's shelter, things like those sort of areas where we wouldn't be able to go visit. But some closed classes, the state office or DWS would be interested in seeing, like a school. For those classes, I'm pretty sure we would let you know that we're coming and wouldn't just show up at the elementary school. But
hey, LaCee.
Am I wrong, Heidi? Yes.
Sometimes the Google form will leave out not a number, a letter of the address. So like if the address is 1200 North, 1300 East, sometimes it just does 1200, 1300 East, and it leaves out that north part.
Thank you.
So just double check that.
Right. Well, even looking at the Grand County one that came up, it's just east Center Street. So somewhere east of Center Street, there's a library. So that's a good thing to double check if the autofill doesn't help you out, to make sure the right address is there. So you don't get calls from DWS or the state office because we're lost right when you're preparing for your class. And so another part that's good to double check is here where it says calendar. If I was just to save this, it would save to my personal, to the LaCee Jimenez calendar. But I want it to save to my Grand Example calendar for Grand County. So that's just one to make sure. Hopefully you don't have so many to go through, but if you can go in and fix that and change it if you make a mistake, but just double check to make sure it's saved to the right calendar. Otherwise the people who are sharing the county calendar won't be able to see what you've entered. And here below is the description, and this is as much information as you can share about the class that will help us promote it, as well as help us share with DWS what they need to know as well. Let's say, why can't location just go in the where part? Not sure. I think part of the reason we had location in the title as well is because we found that that's how most of the counties were labeling the titles. You know, they call it the Kanab Elementary School class or Create class. So it just kind of just seemed that that's what most counties were doing. And we wanted to make it so that we were kind of all on the same page doing the same thing. And I'm not sure who iPad 2 is, so I hope that helps answer the question. Oh, and Jocelyn answered it too, so right on. So do you have any other questions or concerns? We have just shared this with our representative at the State Department of Workforce Services office. So they will be looking at it and kind of overseeing the great stuff you all are doing. I'm really excited. It looks really exciting when you look at, you know, the whole week for the state and just all the great work you're doing.
Oh, hey, I was going to ask you about that guest thing, the guest part of it, back on the form.
Oh.
What's supposed to go in there? Add guests.
Oh, that would be if you're inviting, I believe. If you kind of like our Outlook calendar, if you want to invite people to this event or calendar, you can invite guests. That makes sense. Like when we have a meeting and you invite people to participate in the meeting, so they would get a notification about this event.
So this isn't for the general public guests. This is a special guest type thing.
It could be special guests, or if you have a list, you could possibly invite people. You just have to make sure that it can maintain anonymity.
Okay. All right, and then then there's a place to save right there.
For the most part, I think we're just using this more for the state office.
All right.
And the Department of Workforce Services, and also the NEA trainers, I believe, have been using this quite a bit to be able to arrange training.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. And if you have any concerns, some of these tips I've been giving, it's been from trial and error where someone struggled with it or I've struggled with it. So yeah, if something comes up that's it's not quite working for you, just contact me and I'm happy to do a one-on-one Zoom so we can kind of walk through and figure out what's not going.
Okay. What about the event color? Are we supposed to do anything with that?
I've just left it. I gave everyone, for those who have the whole state, we're able to kind of see everyone by a different color. And so you don't really need to change it unless
Okay.
helpful to you, but
I don't want to do anything more.
yeah.
But I have to remember.
LaCee, with the colors, I've learned that it actually just stays to your own. So like Galen, if you changed an event to be yellow and your NEA looks at it, it's not going to be yellow for her. So it's just on your own. And so if you want to code it any way you want, that works.
Oh, yeah. So that would be handy then.
Yeah. So if it's helpful to you, yes, feel free to change the colors, but if not, it's not needed. And obviously, and from what we just learned, it doesn't affect us or anyone else.
Okay. So this calendar right here, this Google Calendar, is just for food sense, though. Correct? This is just a food sense Google Calendar.
Yes, we're just using it for food sense. In addition to classes, you can also include, I think you can see there's farmer market booths or PSE activities. And this has actually been really helpful in the state office when we talk about what's going on in the counties. Sometimes we've had questions as to, oh, what were they doing, at that food pantry? And we were able to go on the Google Calendar and get a little bit more details to better understand, like, oh, it's PSE efforts. They were putting new thumbs up recipe cards there. And so it really helps us get a better picture of all the hard work y'all are doing. All right. Any other questions or concerns? Emotional outbursts? Can the people in Garfield and Iron breathe?
Yeah, really.
Maybe
not.
Brian head. Yeah, I literally drove through where the fire is.
Oh dear.
It started because we were at a family reunion. And yeah, I had no idea it was going to end up being as big as it is.
It's crazy. Crazy.
If there aren't any more questions.
LaCee, can I just give one more tip?
Oh, yes, please do.
The Google, so for your iPads that everyone has, Google has a calendar app, that's just Google Calendar that's really user-friendly. Makes it easy. So on your iPad, you can just open up your Google Calendar. You can add things that way, but you can also edit them or just view them. Anyway, so that's a super easy app. It's free. So that when you're on the go, it's easy to access.
Perfect. Thank you. So that's a good use of the iPad where you can just get to it easily. And with it being your work iPad, you probably wouldn't have to worry as much of the issue of different accounts. Excellent. Any more questions or comments? If not, we'll adjourn. Thank you all for coming on to the meeting. You'll be receiving in the mail, as well as we'll contact you once we've uploaded the tools for Create Better Health to be used in July. So please just use these materials as you're promoting the program, or maybe find extra opportunities to promote the program in your counties, so we can really reach all those people that really use it to improve their lives.
Thank you so much, LaCee.
Thanks, Patty. Thanks, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks, LaCee.